Okay, and we were just you just finished up talking about you had thought you got a pretty good physical, and then you were finding out after your doctor retired.
Right. So then I went to the VA and I had a primary care physician for 8 years at the VA, and it's still ongoing. But in '05, I checked in with the VA, and because I'm a Vietnam veteran, I was awarded a free physical every year, and it's pretty complete: urine, blood test, a visit with the doctor for 20 minutes or half an hour.
Speak up a little louder.
And so then 18 months ago at my physical, I got the letter that said my PSA had gone up, and they wanted me to come in for consultation. Consultation led to the advice to get a biopsy. I had a biopsy, and it was discovered that I had level 4 prostate cancer with Gleason score of 9, which is 9 out of 10. So, and they told me that my options were operation, removing the prostate, and it was in my lymph nodes at the time. And by the time surgery was completed, the cancer had moved to my bones. So now I have cancer in my lymph nodes and my bones. And my surgeon, who's not with the VA because I decided I wanted somebody with more experience, told me that after surgery I would require chemotherapy and hormonal treatment. And I am successfully being treated for my cancer, so I'm stable. I live, every 3 months I go in for an injection and chemotherapy, and I get a number, and hopefully it's a low one. So prognosis is might have 5 years, might have 8 years, might have 2 years. So
When did you find this out? What was it?
it was 18 months ago.
18 months ago.
About 18 months.
So must have had it for a period of time before that, or
Well,
did it happen very rapidly? Do we know?
My PSA test for 7 physicals, the PSA number was 2. And the VA's policy is to not really do anything dramatic unless your number is 4 or above. So for 6 or 7 visits, my number was a 2. It was a stable PSA. And then my subsequent visit, the visit before I got the bad number, my PSA went to 3.7. But my physician, my primary care physician, who had been my physician for 8 years, didn't say anything to me about my PSA almost doubling. And he wasn't alerted to that. He just said that I have a little cholesterol issue now, and I should start reducing fat in my diet or something like that. And so he gave me a warning about something that wasn't very important, and didn't mention to me that my PSA had gone up. And policy at that time was I never received a printout of my examination of my lab work. So I didn't know what my PSA was because I didn't ask.
Right.
And he didn't say that it had gone up almost doubled, but it was still below 4. And when I went a year later, my PSA was 10.7, and they were very surprised. And when I looked at my chart, I could have figured out myself that my PSA began rising with doing the math probably about 2 months before my physical. If you figure the PSA went up 0.6 a month for 1 year, then my doctor could have determined, had he known that I read the registry, etc., had he been alerted to prostate cancer and my extreme Agent Orange exposure, maybe I would have been called in 3 months after my one physical to get another PSA. We could have put some seeds in my prostate or removed the prostate, and I wouldn't have gone through bone cancer, lymph node cancer, etc., etc. So, to make the story short, 14 months, almost 15 months after it was determined that I had cancer, my claim processed, and I received my 100% compensation for 100% disability for PSA, for cancer, for prostate cancer. And therefore, no questions asked. I didn't have to do anything. The government just said, we're responsible. So I went to when I filed for the claim for my cancer, my county rep asked me about my hearing, and I said I probably have some hearing loss. And he also asked me about PTSD, and I said, yeah, I had a little bit of counseling for PTSD in the 80s, and he encouraged me to file claims for both of those.
Sure. Plus, I mean, after this shit, that PTSD goes up like.
Yeah, well, yeah, it is definitely post-traumatic stress. I mean, it's traumatic stress anyway.
No matter what, yeah.
But yeah, so it came back to haunt me, and so I filed for that, and I was very reluctant to file for the PTSD, but they gave me 50%, so I am 160% disabled.
Now, I know that, did they count that as an Agent Orange disability, or did they just...
They just say it's a prostate cancer disability.
Yeah.
They're not, the disability form that declares my disability, so it claims prostate cancer, and it claims the fact that the cancer is also spread into my body. They will not claim bone cancer at this point because maybe I don't have it, but
yeah,
it's there. I mean, I have bone disease. That's
what they gave me, they say 10% Agent Orange, 40% post-traumatic stress, but the Agent Orange doesn't count for anything. It's just mentioned off to the side. It doesn't make it 50%. For you know. But I'm curious because cancer is one of the recognized symptoms from Agent Orange, whether they registered it as an Agent Orange disability, and that you had a different rating. I'm trying to discover this stuff myself, just to try to figure it out.
Right. I don't think it says Agent Orange on my form. I could look at it and email you if you want. I would read it again, but I just think it said prostate cancer and lymph cancer.
Yeah. I'm glad you got the 100%. That's important.
Well, the advantage of getting 160% is that you get the regular 100% compensation, which is a monetary figure. But if you have 160, then you get a living allowance to improve your home. They figure you're disabled enough to require a wheelchair ramp and a wheelchair, and you know, we could take it further and say a widescreen TV and all the comforts of turning your home into a hospital, which is probably
which
what
going to
I'm
be
looking
needed
at down the road.
Yeah,
Basically, I'm sitting here. You know, I have a future. I have to admit that it's scary, and it's maybe scarier than being in the war zone for a year at the age of 20, 21. I mean, you know, that's what I'm looking at. Different kind of casualty, I guess, but
that's right. And I wonder how many people are going through what you're going through. And
well, with the PTSD, I wondered, like, why should I get it? I mean, my kids went through to 16 years of school. I've been married for 40 years. Self-employed, successful. I own my own home. I have money in the bank. Why should I get PTSD? But then again, guess I had the right number.
Yeah.
I had the
Hey.
right number.
Yeah, it's not up to you.
No, it isn't. It isn't. I mean, my best buddy in Vietnam has been fighting to get PTSD for 5 years, and they gave him 20%.
Yeah.
And he goes and sees a psychiatrist every week,
Yeah.
and they still won't bend. Well, guess what? He just got prostate cancer, so
Oh my God.
maybe they'll give him a little more. So,
Well, Tom, I just really want to thank you for allowing this interview, and I'm very, just to let you know that I'm very much of an amateur with this stuff, and but I can post it. I want to post it on our Agent Orange Facebook page that you saw that I put up there.
oh, okay.
And that's all right with you.
Yeah, that is.
Okay, I want people to know that, know your
Some
story.
good editing.
Thank you.
Sorry I didn't shave.